What's up guys? Thanks for tuning into the video. Today we're doing the most underrated sneakers of 2022. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into it.
Stay tuned to the end for the secret word.
I guess we can get into it now. Do you want to go with your honorable mentions first?
My honorable mentions are going to be the Gorge Green Jordan 1s. Those have stayed on the Nike website for a while, as well as the True Blue release for this year. But since we're talking about last year, the Gorge Greens, the materials are insane. The leather's super amazing quality. It's definitely one of the higher end qualities of Jordan 1s that we've seen recently. So I'd say that that's an honorable mention, as well as the Skate Like a Girls. I'd just put the Skate Like a Girls on my honorable mentions list because they are an SB, so they receive a pretty good amount of attention, but I just feel like their value, just like reselling wise, should be higher because they're a really nice, insane pair of shoes.
Yeah, I feel like they're not like talked about that much too.
Yeah.
With the amount of SBs they released in 22, I feel like there was some that kind of got shafted. I mean, there was super good dunk releases. And just like a lot, so some of them kind of took the lower end just because we got super hype ones.
Yeah.
So my two honorable mentions, I have one SB, and that's the cherry SBs. With the pack that dropped, the green apples and the blue raspberries got a lot more love than the cherries did. Honestly, I think the cherries are like super nice. We've got a pair here in the shop, and like I look at it all the time and go, dang, like that's such a clean shoe. And then for my other one, I got the Turtle Dove Yeezy 350. I know they're like kind of hyped and stuff, but I feel like with releasing that OG, like, because when I think of Yeezys, that's like the OG.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's just like one of the most memorable Yeezys of all time.
Yeah.
So, especially with it being gone now, like, I think that'll just be known as the most memorable Yeezys to ever exist.
Yeah, it's kind of like all Yeezys have kind of raised in price ever since the whole Kanye situation.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just a very memorable pair of shoes, and it's also just, it's an easy wear.
Yeah.
They're comfortable because they're Yeezys, and I just think like you haven't really heard much about it since the Yeezy day when they re-released them.
Yeah, exactly. I just, only resellers are the only ones that I've kind of heard talk from. Everybody else.
Even then, you don't even really hear much about them.
Yeah. So just getting into my top five, I have the Yeezy 350 Dazzling Blue. Super clean colorway of a Yeezy. You got the black and the blue. Came with like the pack. I guess not as a pack, but they're kind of like all the same pack. They didn't drop all at the same time, I don't think. With the core reds, the Oreos. And I think it's just the least loved, like, but personally it's one of my favorite of those, so.
For sure. I think like all those kind of ones with just like the stripe, all super clean. You can wear all of them easy. And like I said, with the Turtle Dove, they're just comfortable. Going into my top five, I'm gonna start with the Fossil Rose Dunk. None of these are in a specific order, but I think the Fossil Rose, the materials on them are just insane. This nice suede that they use, it's not like a long fuzzy suede, but it's still soft and it's pretty short cut. And I just think that it's a great color combination, even though it's kind of unexpected. So I think that it's just a great shoe and amazing quality.
And I think just the price on those are insane right now. They're so low, kind of around 200.
I don't know why, they're just a good looking shoe, man.
It's a good looking shoe, especially like I'd take those over the ceramics any day.
Me too. Like the light blue with the gray and then like a burnt pink kind of.
Yeah.
It's just,
it looks super nice. So my fourth, I have the Jordan 1 Taxi. I thought the execution was really good on these. I mean, we've talked about these in videos before. Super underrated shoe. It's a shattered backboard, but it's yellow. They didn't do a bad job with the yellow color because they could have messed it up.
Could have been like a bright yellow, but it's not.
Exactly.
I think that's what makes the shoe. Definitely need to pick me up a pair right after I buy Lost and Founds.
Yeah.
But I think they're just a great shoe.
Yeah.
Going on to my next pair, Ugly Duckling Air Max 1s, the pecan colorway specifically. I just think it's like the brown and the yellow, they all kind of just go together well, and I think that it's a really good colorway and just combination if you wear a lot of brown or just even kind of hints of yellow, and I think it's just, the qualities on that are also super nice. The suede is just like, you can see it so evident, like changing colors as you move your finger across it, and I think that it's just a super nice quality shoe.
Yeah, I feel like it's a like really good shoe for people that aren't like crazy into sneakers too.
For sure.
Because I know everyone likes Air Maxes. I haven't heard of a person that just like hates on them, especially Air Max 1s. So I feel like that's a pretty good underrated shoe for people who just want a good pair of shoes to wear every day. So at my number three, I have a Jordan 3. It's the muslin Jordan 3. They've got like the canvas uppers with the cream or tan, whatever you want to call it, and the red hit on the back. I mean, super easy to wear. There's not really much to say. Like, they haven't really gone crazy in price. I think it's a sneaker that might go up in price, kind of on the teeter-totter of it.
Yeah.
But I think they could, especially if Jordan 3s pick up.
Yeah, I think it'll fluctuate for sure. But with those, I completely agree because 3s haven't been super unique recently. And I think that this is definitely one of the most unique pairs that have released in like the last year, because most of the times now it's just the that elephant print where it typically is, and then it's like a white or black base with a couple hits of green or a couple hits of red. And I think it kind of just gets boring. I love threes a lot, but I think that they need to be more creative with them. So I think that this is a super good shoe to be on the list because it's pretty unique to threes, as they've kind of released boring threes recently.
Yeah, they kind of have done the same thing over and over, and then as soon as they release one that's different, I mean, it didn't get as much love.
For sure.
So I think that's just kind of telling that everyone just kind of likes stuff the same as they do it.
For sure. My next one is going to be the Fruity Pebble Dunks. This was a LeBron James collaboration shoe, which I thought was pretty unique, and it's also a dunk that you wouldn't really expect LeBron to make, but I think that these are super slept on. They're a pretty cheap price, and they kind of just have nice colors to them, and like the Fruity Pebble laces look good in them.
Yeah.
The other laces that come with them look good, and like if you were to put in like white laces, I think it just looks nice. And it's just kind of a unique shoe. We don't really have cereal shoes unless you're talking about like the Kyries. I think just that it's a nice shoe and you don't really think cereal when you see shoes, and it's not like we've seen much like it before.
Yeah, and I don't think they did a bad job on making it too much like cereal, just because, and like, or too much like LeBron. Even if you're not a fan of either of those, it's just a like super clean dunk. The translucent sole is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really easy wear too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming into my top two, I have at number 2, I have the Why So Sad SBs. So once again, with them popping out all the SBs, I feel like this was a super like slept on release. I mean, I didn't really even know that they were coming out.
Yeah, I didn't really, like, they're kind of just like, they kind of just slipped them in.
Yeah. I definitely agree, because I think it was right before the Lost and Founds came out. So with that just being so anticipated, just kind of flew under the radar of everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I think it's one of the best SBs they dropped last year.
And we've talked about this shoe a lot of times in the last video, and for some reason, us here at the shop, we love the Why So Sads. But like, I was just looking at sneakers on eBay the other day, I think it was yesterday, and they're still on eBay for like $200. So I think it's super slept on shoe, especially for being $200 for an SB, and it's just got crazy details. And my next one is gonna be the Nasty Neck Face SBs. This is also a shoe we've talked about. I think it's because a lot of the shoes that we're talking about, they really truly are underrated. And I just think that like these shoes can go with anything. You wear some black sweats and a sweatshirt and it will go with it. You can wear any sort of color with some sort of neutral color and it will just go with it, because it's got a black base and a white midsole, and you can't really complain too much about that.
Yeah.
Because there's colors everywhere.
Yeah, exactly, because it's got like all those hits of like different colors, where it makes it not that you have to match it exactly, but you can like contrast or like kind of match certain colors.
For sure.
To make it like, it's so easy to wear. But I feel like people get kind of scared of it because it's kind of colorful, but anything with a black base and a white midsole, you can kind of do whatever with it.
For sure. And they still like made sure to include the swoosh, because where it usually would be, it's like still there, you can see like the texture, but then there's even like a tiny little stitched white Nike swoosh.
On like the collar right there,
yeah, the ankle collar.
Okay, so my number 1, I've preached about this shoe a lot. Like, this is like my go-to for like even best shoes of the year for 2022. I have the Georgetown Jordan 1. Talked about it in one of the previous videos. Nobody talks about them.
I actually agree with that. Yeah.
It is such a good colorway.
It is.
And I don't see them ever. I don't hear about them. I don't see them. I think it's the most slept on shoe of the year by far. It's one of those shoes that it was like not hype. I feel like a lot of people went for this shoe. I saw something, it was like one of the top 10 shoes that people went for on the snkrs app. But I feel like after it released, I just really haven't seen anyone wear it. I haven't heard about it at all. Like, there hasn't been any talk about it.
Nobody talks about Georgetown ones, which is super weird, because the Georgetown colorway is always just a super good looking shoe. And I know like navy, it's kind of weird sometimes to wear, but like the Georgetown gray and blue just look so good together.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it wasn't more talked about, because I feel like I hardly even knew about the release.
Yeah, and I just kind of forgot they released. Like, I was making a list for a video one time, and I kind of remembered. I was like, oh yeah, forgot about these.
And it just appeared.
Yeah.
For my number 1, I'm gonna say the Starfish women's release, the Jordan 1 High. I think this is a super slept on pair of shoes, especially considering the fact that it came out in the fall when it is the perfect time to wear them. It's just like, you have the cream laces as an option, and I think with those, with the orange, white, and brown hits, it just looks super great. The quality is nice, and then it has like kind of a unique stitch on the overlay by the toe box that's not usually on Jordan 1s, and it's kind of just right along there to add a little bit more color, and I think it just helps contrast the shoe a little more, and it's just a great looking shoe.
Yeah, for a women's release too, I feel like there's not a lot of Jordan 1 High women's releases. There's like more kind of mids and lows women's.
For sure.
But for them dropping a high that was so clean, I mean, it didn't really get any love, and I just was kind of surprised, like actually very surprised.
Yeah.
Because the price is just insane.
Yeah, you saw them sitting at Foot Lockers for weeks, and Nike outlets, they just started to pop up at Nike outlets, and it's just like kind of super unfortunate because the Jordan 1 low-key died last year to the Jordan 4.
Yeah.
But I think they'll come back because it's the OG, and they deserve the love that they should have. So
Yeah.
I think that concludes our list for the most underrated sneakers of 2022.
The secret word for today, guys, is villager. Make sure to drop the comment. Shout you out next video.
Thanks for watching, and to CleanKIX G.
Wait, end the video.